Hello, welcome back to the 29th Irish Open, live from the 18-lane Leisureplex Centre in Stillorgan, Dublin, Ireland. My name's Dom Gall from TalkTemping.net, and with me is Simon Shepherd on the ones and twos, on the dials, doing the technical stuff this week. And we're into the second but last squad, a full squad, and some quality players in this one. Not least the World Cup champion, Jenny Wegner from Sweden. Former champion Jamie Bottomley. Former champion, defending champion actually, Paul Moore from England is on there. And on our featured pair, Aoife Hall, Morten Bjorn, Elliot Crosby, and Dimfna Castell. Dimfna Castell, is it? Dimfna. Those Irish names are so hard to pronounce. You look at Aoife's name and it's A-O-I-F-E. Somehow you get Aoife from that. Say 2 years ago, and I didn't really know Aoife then. I'm calling it Aoife Hall, Alfie, Aoife, Alfie. So welcome back, everybody. Anybody on the chat? Feel free to say hello. Yeah, nobody's chatting yet. So let's have a close-up of Alfie, Aoife Hall. Wearing like an orangey pinky number. Oh, Selwyn's behind us. Pete Stevenson on the lanes, averaging 262 in Alsa this week, over 5 games. 262? Ridiculous. Yeah, the Alsa, is it drop-in singles or whatever it is? Extreme singles. They're another part of Dublin, running concurrent with the Irish Open this week. Some of the players from England have been up there this week to play in that tournament as well. I've got the latest results are all on TalkTemping.net. House record was taken the other day, I believe. And a 300 also from Pete Stevenson at Alsa this week. A fan of motive bowling balls, Mr. Stevenson. And he's just struck for the front 4. Fabiana Peters, hello. Keep an eye on Scott Walmsley for me. Or Mr. Walmsley. Yeah, we will do. He's just left a single pin down on 13 and 14. Looks like he's opened up with 2 spares, 3 spares if he gets this next one. It's Elliot Crosby on the featured pair there, front three. Jamie Bottomley opens up with a spare double. Rob Thirlby with a strike 9 spare double. So bear with us a moment, just spreading the web address on Facebook for this squad. Please do the same. Spread the web address far and wide to all your friends, and to try and get as many people as possible over the next 24, 48 hours now, as we hit the finals. Front 4 for Elliot Crosby. Front 5 for Pete Stevenson. And they're joined now by Simon Sheppers. Well, welcome back, Simon.
Yeah, welcome back.
You didn't bowl so well then.
Nah, started off on the 136. Started with a strike, 9 spare. Hit 3 splits in a row and 2 9 misses, and yeah. It was horrible this morning. And after that, my timing was gone.
It threw you.
Yeah, because you're searching for something, and yeah, you can get it forced, and yeah. Yeah, in the last game it was okay.
So you're pretty much done now.
Yeah.
Probably the Desperado.
Yeah, maybe.
If you can find a sponsor.
Yeah. Don't think so.
Yeah,
I'm gonna ask Michael for give me a ride to the hotel to get changed and take my stuff with it.
yeah, so that you don't go back on.
Yeah.
But you're going to Malta instead now.
Maybe.
Excellent.
Maybe.
Right, so Stevenson.
Depending on the financial status.
Yeah. So Stevenson on the front 5. On 11 and 12 is just going to step up now, looking for number 6. You should just come into play on the right side of your screen there. There you go. Oh, single pin. Let's get a front view of former champion Jamie Bottomley. Oh, no, it wasn't Jamie, sorry. It was Elliot.
Yeah.
What am I on about?
Any Danes playing this squad?
Yeah, 1 or 2. Yeah, Morten Bjorn, he's Danish, isn't he? And can't even say, is it? Can't even see the name from here. I need to get some glasses. Leila Eriksson. Who else? We've got another Dane right at the top there. I'm not sure who it is. got a beard and a load of tattoos on one arm. Does that ring any bells? Yeah, there's about 5 or 6 Danes by the looks of it, all wearing red shirts.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just taking me off the waiting list.
Or are they Norwegians? No.
Norwegian.
They're Norwegians, aren't they?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure about the Danes.
Yeah, I was just talking to Lorraine for the waiting list for the last squad. There were 22 people on there.
Yeah, on the
Complete
waiting list?
Yeah, on a
Wow.
almost complete squad.
Wow.
I think they will have to get more squads in.
Well, I think it's going to be a bumper desperado then, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. That's why I think I'm not going to play it, because it's way too crowded. And there are people in it I know.
Well, it's going to be mainly foreigners wanting to get in as well, isn't it? When
Yeah.
really the Irish, a lot of the Irish should maybe have played a lot of the earlier squads this year. And they might have to next year.
Some people are playing for time here.
Yeah.
And they are Irish.
There comes a point, don't there, where...
And he shot 1460 yesterday and still plays. Why?
Well, that's the thing about the EBTs and stuff, is you can throw money at it if you've got money to throw at it. And a lot of people don't. So, yeah, maybe no Danes then. We don't have a squad list, to be honest, so... We don't have much, do we? We just sat here kind of being asked questions, and I don't know. Yeah, next year either we will get some live scoring or some kind of way to get the scores to us, or we have some runners. Efi Hall then, 54 in the third with a turkey working. Elliot Crosby on a 278 pace. Oh, we've got a mechanical fault there. Just single pin's been put up.
No, I think it moved.
Right, okay.
And balls are stuck on the back, so...
Oh, yeah, there's 2 pins behind each other there, aren't there? Off-spot pin.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Great mechanics here, though. Doesn't take long to fix a fault if there is one, and there hasn't been that many, considering the machines are about 30-odd years old.
Yeah, they need to upgrade as well.
I don't know, I like the old 8270s because they don't need much of an upgrade. Yeah, you get the chassis and things like that and new distributor pans or whatever else, but you look after them, they'll run and they'll look after you.
Yeah. Don't have many shutdowns this weekend.
No, you get pin feeds, but we don't know about them because they're on the top of the machines at the back sorting them before we even get to them. So they could be having a nightmare around there that we wouldn't know.
Yeah. Now we had some problem with the scoring system this early squad this morning. We had a problem with the scoring.
Yeah, it's about 3 times this week apparently. It's just gone down.
Yeah, but that's the new that's the old systems. When they're gone.
I believe they've not had a lot of upgrades in the last 10, 15 years. And it's getting to the point now where it's I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, saves them a lot of time with scoring, keeping on the back. So
well, yeah, if we had live scoring, it'd be a dream, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
you know,
by them it's just the
we'll
press
just
of the
be sat
button.
here talking like we normally do and not even mentioning scores because everybody knows what the scores are.
And in the back they just push print and the whole list come out
straight away. Yeah.
There are now with 2 or 3 people back there to keep score.
Well, I'm an optimist. You know, I normally say, oh well, if they've not got a scoring system in 20, 30 years, they're not going to get one now. But with the 30th anniversary coming up next year, there's every possibility that we could get some kind of improvements. It's all it needs, really. There's nothing else we need here. It's a great centre. Yeah, Jim Donner. So thanks, Jim. He says there's 4 Danes playing in squad 14. What are you doing watching Star Wars?
No, doing something which is...
Shane them all, shane them all. Jamie Bottomley on a 279 pace after the first 7 frames. They're quite busy in here now. Quite a lot of people have turned up to watch. Nice steady crowd at the back.
I think for the most it is a step up to Bolland's. I think
Sorry?
I think for the most of it's just looking what the lanes are playing today for the finals.
Yeah.
Or they're going to Bolland's next.
Yeah.
Get a quick look and go.
They're just getting warm before they go for a Guinness.
Yeah.
And Mads asking Jim, who, may I ask, is playing in Squad 14 for the Danes?
We have no idea.
Well, you can actually find it at the...
Yep.
Let's have a quick look ourselves. It's on the Irish 10-pin website. If you go to 10pinbowling.ie, Mads, 10pinbowling.ie /Irish Open, or just go to the website and then click on the Irish Open link, as I am doing right now. We've got the schedule and participants. So participants list. Let's have a look down for the next squad, who's going to be playing. Squad 14. Tona Torgerson's down for that one. Robert Lind from Norway, but it's the Danes that you're after, isn't it? Let's have a look. Denmark, there you go. Tim Stamp, Rasmus Bering, Patrick Sorensen, and Mika Guldbeik. Is that right?
Go back.
Yannick Sorensen had a 300 yesterday, and we didn't know about it until we saw it on Facebook. Tim Stamp, we know about 1500 plus last year, did really well. So they're a couple of dangerous Danes. Who else we got in 14? There's a waiting list. What did you say, Simon? 20 odd players?
22, yeah.
22 waiting.
Minus me, 21.
I hope Jenny Wegner's in the next one, if she doesn't bowl so well in this one. They've got her down as Wagner, or Wagner.
Yeah, there were a lot of, some weird, strange names in there.
There's some cool names. Robert Vonk.
Yeah.
For one. There were another one as well. What's her name? Kim Crapper. Sorry, Kim. You're welcome, Mads. Says thanks a lot. But yeah, if we can't help you with anything, if you could just go to the official website, or you can go via Talk 10 Pin to get to the official website. Let's have a look at a front view. So 167 in the 7th for Elliot Crosby, with a spare working in the 8th. Just coming up to the 9th frame now on this featured pair. There we go. Been around for a long time as Elliot, come through the junior rankings. Right from the very beginning, sort of like 7, 8, 9-year-old he was. Him and Jake Daggett were the best two players in the juniors for a long time. Jake went off to the States, and he's back now in England. And Elliot stayed in England and still bowling really well as he makes it in the world as a grown-up. Coach Carter, I'm back. You get some sleep, mate. Front view of Ify. Go on, Ify. Find your spot. That's it. Relax. Exhale. Go, go, go! Right, it's wave. Hi, everybody. Here with Morton. 10-pin. What do you think of the Green Talk 10-pin logo this week, eh? thought we'd go green for the Irish.
A little bit different than...
It's usually bright red. We've got a blue one. We were going to use it last week for the Ballmaster, but thought, well, we'll wait and we'll save it for another event. Oh, two-handed at a spare. Are you mad? So who's leading the tournament, I hear you say? Well, that person is Christopher Sloan, the Sloan Ranger. Second in the Bowling World Cup this year. Second in the Irish Open last year, and hoping to go one better this year. And then he's followed by about 4 or 5 Finns. Barry Foley, Paul Moore's up there. A French woman now, Amandine Jacques. A nice mix of countries at the top. I'll tell you exactly who's where. Got Chris Sloan at the top then with 15.27. Followed by Thomas Kaiko from Finland with 15.24. Santu Tarvanainen from Finland with 14.99. Followed by Barry Foley, who shot 14.60 last night. Tied with Petri Keturi from Finland with 14.60. Perttu Jusila, Mr. President, the president of the Finnish Federation. He's under 30 as well. That's cool. 14.60. Joe Alsibrook with 14.40 in 7th. Just ahead of 2016 champion Paul Moore with 14.34. Ryan Press, the owner of Seismic Bowling and Rift Apparel, with 14.19. And then, as I said earlier, Amandine Jacques from France pulled in at 10th place. So the top 8 places, Paul's the number on 14.34. And then we've got top 45, Grant Duggan is the number. And then players that will have already qualified earlier on in the week: Ashley Gill, Robert Lind, Arturas Balontis, Paddy Dunn, Alex Castle and Amanda Larkin. Two-time champion, Amanda Larkin, last 2 years. Yeah, Mads is saying Patrick Sorensen actually got 3 balls smashed on the way to the Irish Open, lost 3 balls, including a blue hammer from 1991. And it wasn't just a blue hammer from 1991, it was the blue hammer that his mum won the World Championships with.
Yeah.
Unreplaceable, you know. I think it's quite sweet that he's playing with that ball to start with, but it's probably ruined now. I don't know what you do about something like that, because it's just a bowling ball to the insurance, but it's not just a bowling ball, is it?
No.
Pretty sad, really. 199 then for Ify Hall. on the featured pair. Elliot Crosby with a 9 miss in the last frame, giving him a 2.15. Now you Irish out there, DYMP Dimfner, is it? 201 anyway. There's the score just changed. Looks like we've got Jamie Elliott coming on now, Paul Moore, and who else we got coming on? Not sure yet. Anyway, we're going to go for a quick short break, commercial break. We'll be back in about 3 minutes' time. In fact, 3 minutes and 29 seconds to be quite exact. So don't go away.
Hey Storm Nation, I'm Steve Klemkin, and we're here with Del Ballard, your Pro Tour manager, and we're excited to demonstrate the new Code Black for you today. Now, Del, you have a little bit of experience. I know you saw this ball go down the lanes in Japan, and also some of our international staff players, when they came over and bowled the World Series of Bowling, were using the Code Black. What have you been seeing out of the ball?
Well, Steve, the very first thing I noticed out of it is how it just kept on coming. A lot of time around the corner, a lot of times with guys that have high rev rates, the asymmetrical balls will kind of just quit. They'll slow down, get to the preferred spin axis, and just kind of slow down. Code Black just kept coming, so you never lost that entry angle going into the pins.
And that's for the high rev players, like you were saying. At the pro level, we definitely see that.
Yes, and for the lower guys who threw the ball a little straighter, you know what? Just barely cracked the shell a little bit, make it start a little sooner, and just kept on coming. It allowed them to play about 3 to 4 or 5 boards deeper than they normally would, and the ball would keep coming through the pins.
A lot of hook on the back end. Let's go ahead and turn these lanes on. Let's throw some shots and show you what we're talking about. I think you could see going down the lane, I mean, there was a strong motion. We had 2 different balls, 2 different layouts. Both of them were the 5x5 layout, one with a pin above and one with the pin below. So that's the different pin buffers.
Out of the ball itself, the 5x5 layout is very versatile layout. You might go like a 4.5x5 if you're a little less revs, a little lower rev rate, but always keep that mass around 4.5 to 5 inches, and it really gets down the lane and wants to kick on the back, either pin up or pin down.
And I think when we're looking at, if somebody's kind of going through in their mind trying to decide, do they want to add the Code Black to their arsenal, I think the decision really is looking at, do they need a ball that's going to give them a little bit more hook down lane?
Yeah, a lot of times when you're dealing with solid covers or stronger asymmetrics and they get the mass a little closer to the axis, they have a problem with it quitting on the back. You can drill this ball up a little bit, just a little farther from the axis, and my God, shit comes around the corner.
And that's one of the things I know when you're out there on tour working with the best players in the world, when you're looking at some of these layouts and trying to find out, exactly what kind of a motion you're going to get, you're trying to control the break point, trying to control entry angle, trying to control motion down lane. And that layout can be key in terms of them getting the look that they need in order to strike as much as they want to, right?
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes, a lot of times, too much back end's not good. But if you can control it when it hooks and when it starts by using a little bit of surface, it'll definitely give you the motion.
All right, Del. Well, hey, thanks a lot for being here. Appreciate it, Storm Nation. The Code Black, it's available November 22nd. Make sure you swing by and visit your Storm VIP Pro Shop and reserve yours today.
Welcome back to the 29th Irish Open, live from the 18-lane Leisureplex Bowling Centre in Stillorgan, Dublin, Ireland. Another problem with this scoring system. So if you're watching Cubic AMF in Brunswick, make a call to Leisureplex. I think 3 times this week they've had a problem with the system having to be rebooted. So it looks like they're having to put all the scores in manually at the moment. Well, the names in anyway. Keep your comments and chat coming in. What have I missed in the last 5 minutes? Anybody said anything? How did Selwyn do last block then? He is about 50, 60 over, I think, in the end. So featured pair, Jamie Elliott, Paul Moore, Jenny Wegner, and Stu Kay. That's a good four. We've got a 16-time EBT champion, a World Cup champion, and 2 up-and-coming talents from England. Jamie Elliott with his little, what do you call that, ponytail thing? Looks like a Conor McGregor type haircut. Oh, and now we've got 9 and 10s gone down. Oh dear. Always happens on a Saturday. We're due to finish at about 12:30 tonight, but you know for a fact it's going to be back at 1:30, 2 o'clock. And then we've got to be up at 8 o'clock. Paul Mika, hello, Dom from the Netherlands. Hi, Paul. Is Patrick in this one? I don't know. Not seen him. And to be honest, I've not seen a lot of Patrick this week so far. So we'll get a look now at Jamie Elliott picking up his spare. Let's see what I mean about the little ponytail thing. You can't quite see it from here. There you go, when he turns around. Little bun in the back. Oh, it's cute. I used to do that when I had hair. Yeah, I did have hair once. I had long hair in a ponytail when I was younger. And a lot of other different hairstyles. Bleached, perm, flat top. Vinnie Jones haircut. Remember when he had a V at the back? I had one of them. That's probably why I've got no hair now. I ruined it. Gonna get our first look at Jenny Wegner in a minute. She wanted to pull last night. She thought she was the first on the waiting list, but turned out she was the 4th on the waiting list. So she was unable to bowl last night. She's looking really brown, actually. She looks like she's been somewhere. She's never, she's not got that tan from Sweden, that's for sure. Unless it's a bottle tan. She doesn't look orange or anything, so it looks like a real tan. She's had a holiday somewhere. And then she did win the World Cup after all. She probably deserved it. So there we go. First shot from Jenny Wegner. And it's a strike. I believe she's a Brunswick player. She's got DV8 on today, but I believe she's sponsored by Brunswick. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think so.
There's quite a lot of Swedes bowl Brunswick, don't they? I know Sandra Anderson did for a while. Not sure if she's Storm now. Rotor grip. And we get a look at Stephen Kay now in a power play pro shop shirt. He runs the pro shop at Shipley Bowl in England. And the kid can play. He says, as comes through the face. We get another look at Jamie Elliott from the front. Ah, we're better. Now, I could be wrong, but I think Jamie dates the lefty female from England. Forget her name now. Emily Allen, is that right? Am I right? Can't keep up with all the bowlers dating other bowlers. And here comes Paul Moore. I don't think I've ever seen Paul Moore wear green. He wears a lot of blue, but I don't think I've ever seen him wear green before. Quality player. So many years now. Jenny Wegner, double. No, ooh, wash out. Or split. Bear with me on the switching of cameras. It's not easy doing switching and then... oh, switched the wrong way then.
Oh, you're at the studio right now. No.
Am I in the studio? Yeah, sorry. Paddy Gibbons told us that there's a delay in the interviews, in the speeches coming through before the actual picture on the studio.
Oh, wait. We can fix it. How many seconds?
A couple of seconds, I think. Or a second or so. Nobody on stream said anything, but Paddy Gibbons is a sound engineer by trade over the years. A retired sound engineer now, I think.
Yeah, we'll have to fix some struts.
We've got time before the studio interview later.
Yeah.
Bear with us on technical issues. As long as we get everything sorted today, ready for the final, that's all I'm worried about. So let's have a look at Jenny Wegner. She's just struck.
You want someone else on, Don, or
What?
you want to turn the camera somewhere? Or?
Nah, it's all right there. Nah, that's fine. We'll keep it on the featured pair. We've got 4 good bowlers on here. Steve Kerr picking up a spare. So he scores on the doors after the first 3 frames. Steve Kay on a strike open spare. Rog Moore on a double. Jamie Elliott on a spare double. And Jenny strike open strike. So we're here with Roger Moore. Yeah, front 3 for Paul.
Yeah, we were talking to him last night in the elevator in the hotel. And he said 14.99 and for 14.60 you could see him in the eyes. Oh shit, I have to call again.
We do apologise for the language there.
Yeah. But that was his
Yeah.
face.
Tell it as he said it.
Yeah.
So now with the ponytail wearing Jamie Elliott. Leaves a single pin. And let's catch up on the chat.
Yeah. Let's get back on.
Let's go back a little bit. Craig Barrett. Hi Dom, my nephew Craig Barrett is just out of screenshot. I'm watching from the Netherlands. Hi Sue. Oh yeah, you can just see him at the side there. Craig has got 2 spares and 2 strikes after the first 4 frames. Yeah, she's sponsored by DV8. Brunswick and DV8 are tomato. Yeah, you're quite right there. I'm talking about Jenny Wegner there. Mary Gray. America has collegiate, high, middle, junior school bowling clubs, school, college, compete on a regular basis. Why isn't this promoted in the UK and Ireland? It's kept bowling out there as a sport and not just fun. Yeah, you make a point there. We, in the UK and most of Europe really, don't do the collegiate thing and the schools bowling as well as America. And yeah, we should do, really. You need to grow the sport through the youth. Jenny Wegner shoots a double. So Paul Moore on front 4. I wouldn't be surprised if Paul bowled a 300 in this game.
No.
Wouldn't be surprised in the least. He knows he's on TV. Wearing his green striking shirts, Rog signature shirts. Might need to turn the lane side camera off, Simon, and put it back on again. We've not had it on all day. We've just got a black screen.
Got to check it.
Big split there for Simon, Stu K.
It's there, but
Camera on the lane, is that you? Yeah. Facing this way.
I noticed we've got Nick Kepi in the centre somewhere, so I'm going to try and get him on at some point to do some chatting, because that's the owner of Bowltech. Bowltech UK.
should be okay, but
Sorry?
it should be there, but
What should be where? What?
the camera.
It should be. It maybe
Yeah.
just wants turning on and on again. Or off and on again.
Yeah, I will check.
Oh, there you go, it's on. It's just going on really fast at the minute.
That's quick.
Yeah, let's put it on. Just sort that camera a little bit before we... Oh, got the wrong one there. So many buttons to press. So here again with Jamie Elliott. Looking for a boundary rubble. Gets it. Ooh, 10 pin for Jenny. So here we go with Paul Moore. Yeah, from 6 for Paul now. Oh, you're on the other one. That one in the middle side. The down lane cam. So Steve K 71 in the 5th with a strike working. Paul Moore front 6. Jamie Elliott 89 in the 4th with a double working, and Jenny Wegner 95 in the 5th with a spare in the 6th frame. Yeah, Coach Cat saying, yeah, I got some sleep. I'm going to see if I can jump in a squad this afternoon in the City Championships for a team. So Paul Moore, front 6, looking for number 7. Oh, nearly. It was a bit high, to be fair. Stay with Paul Moore as he picks up his single pin. About 3 frames away from the end of this first game.
Second game, what?
Second game, is it? No, first game.
First or second? No,
First.
Second.
No, it's first, the one that you started.
No.
Haven't
Paul was
Oh,
on.
second game, yeah. Oh. You've been drinking, Dom? I had 1 beer last night, it's gone to my head. That's why I can't do live TV. I can do live streaming, can't do live TV. Yeah, you all need to stop jinxing people when they're on a streak like that. Yeah, the minute we mention them, that's it, it's game over. It's not our fault, can't be. We didn't let go of the ball.
No.
But it happens too many times for it to be a one-off. So with Paul Moore again. And a 7-pin this time. Come on, Jenny. Oh, Jenny from the block. Hits a Barney Rubble. 115 in the 6th frame with a double on the card now. Sam Rose going okay. 279 pace on lane 8, just to the left side there. On the same lane as Craigie Barrett, who's on 140 in the 7th with a spare in the 8th. Steve Kerr looking to get back on 10. They're not doing too well in this game now. I wonder how nervous any of the players get when they're on the featured TV pair. Because, I mean, not all of these players have been on live stream before.
No.
You've got your shop window there. You know your friends and family might be watching. You don't want to look like a donut. Jenny Elliott back on strike. Come on, Steve. Ooh, close. Jenny Wegner looking now for 3 in a row. First squad of the championships for her. Been to Ireland before, but never played in Ireland. And just comes up light, leaves 3. She's very tall. She must be 6 foot. Oh, not close to it, 5'11" at least. Good shape. Very fit girl. So Paul Moore looking to get back on strike and does so. 2014 champion Jamie Bottomley not having the best of times there. 99 in the 7th. But then he's shot 3 in a row. He went double, and then he went 9 miss, 8 split 1, 7 2, 9 spare, 7 split miss.
Looks like my game this morning.
Yeah, every one of your games this morning.
Yeah. Only lost one. The last one was clean. Yeah, the only 300 that happened you didn't know.
Yeah, Coach Carter, rub it in, why don't you? The only 300 that there's been so far, and we didn't know now about it. What got us is because nobody made a noise. He had loads of Danes in for that squad when he bowled it, and it wasn't too far away from where we were. Couldn't see the scores, but like just no noise at all. That were it.
No.
It was like, thought it was a joke when it went up. Damn. And I only won 300 in the tournament so far, and we missed it.
Well, when there's a chance of 300, they only tell us when.
Sorry?
On lanes 1 and 2.
Yeah, where they give us like 3 seconds to go down.
Yeah.
I've streamed like 300s before though. I think the first one I ever got was Rob Thirlby at the English Open. I've seen a few 300s on stream. Jamie Ollie finishing with about a 225 if he gets one more strike.
Don't know what you mean.
Type
Josh.
1 when subbed. What do you mean, Josh? Josh
Yeah.
and Jack.
Josh handshake.
So Jamie Ollie finishes with a 225. A 279 for Sammy Rose.
Yeah, I will get back to the hotel, get freshed up, and maybe play Desperado. I maybe got a sponsor.
Maybe. You will.
Yeah.
You'll play it. I know you.
No, I have a sponsor.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on then, Jenny. Tap
So
it out.
let's get back, get some sort of jacket, and get freshed up. And
Yeah. How about relax. I'll see you in a bit.
yeah.
You can give me some time off later. I'm going to see who I can pull in and get some co-commentary. I'm going to find Nick Kepi, actually. Excuse me. Timmy Mack's in the house, but I think we'll save Timmy for later. So I think what we'll do is we'll go to a quick commercial break, and hopefully when I get back, I should have a guest in the the booth with us. So 174 for Steve K there, 225 we said for Jamie Elliott. Jenny Wegner going to finish with a 200 if she strikes. Paul Moore has thrown a split in the 10th there, 236 after the front 6. We won't be too happy with that. He's looking at it thinking, oh, just lost a load of pins there. Oh, the screen gone off. There we go. So 190, 199 for Jenny, plus 8 pins, 207. Hey, Selwyn, you all right? So we're going to take a short break now. We'll have a look at the timeless or phase. Let's have a look at the phase. Be back right back.
colors. We are the colors. We are the colors.
The original phase, when we developed it, we had one real strong thought in mind. We wanted something that was smooth, something that was controllable, something that when it encountered friction, it didn't really jump. In the phase 2, we have a sanded solid. The additive in a solid, when it's sanded, creates very strong peaks, very strong spikes. So those displace oil. So essentially what we're doing is by making those really strong dynamic peaks in the TX16 cover, we're able to create something that reads dry, even drier. But the nice thing about it is you can now move in and you can play into heavier oil.
So I've watched Kyle Troop bowl for a very long time, and he's obviously two-handed, but his ball speed and his rev rate match each other, so that lets him play anywhere in the lane that he wants to. When you have a ball in his hands like the phase 2, with a slight hand position change, he's able to play awfully straight or swing the entire lane if he wants to. That lower RG high differential gives him that smooth, easy transition on the back end, but he's able to cover a lot of boards laterally with a ball like that.
The phase 2 would probably be one of my first balls out of my bag on many patterns, anywhere from medium to long patterns. Having the solid cover stock, such a strong core, but still being a symmetrical ball allows me to play the lanes a little bit further left. One of the big differences I noticed between the phase and the phase 2 was, with the phase being a pearl cover stock, it sometimes would shoot through the break point for me, whereas the phase 2, the solid cover stock really grabs and reads the lane and continues all the way through the pins.
No. Right, welcome back to the 29th Irish Open, live from the 18-lane Leisureplex Centre in Stillorgan, Dublin, Ireland. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Nick Kepi from Bowltech UK.
And a good afternoon to you, Dom.
Yeah, it's good to have you here, Nick.
Thank you.
You've been coming to Ireland for a lot of years now, haven't you, really?
I have indeed, and not just for the bowling, the crack, as they
The
like
crack,
to call
as they
it.
like to call it, yeah.
It's heaven over here, really. It's great fun, great atmosphere. In fact, this tournament, in social terms, probably one of the best anywhere.
Yeah,
fabulous.
Definitely. People come for the crack more than they actually come for the bowling, don't they, really?
Yeah, perfect.
And we're just chatting off air a little bit. How's business at the moment?
It could always be better. It's always a bit of a problem overcoming a major increase in your cost price like we've had with all our imported products. As you know, everything comes from the States or parts of Europe, and the pound dying has just knocked everything up by about 20%.
Yeah, the pound's becoming a bit of a problem, isn't it, really?
It is, and the extra 20% that it costs us is sort of diluting down into the customers, and people just can't afford to keep paying so much and so much more all the time, especially to maintain a hobby such as bowling. It's not easy.
If that was to continue over the next couple of years, would we find that some of the ball companies start releasing less amount of balls? Like it used to be in the old days, there's so many coming through now.
There are, and I wish it was like the old days, because it is a major investment for us to keep trying to keep up with. Just judging what the situation's going to be with a new ball. Is it as good as the manufacturer says, or isn't it? We catch a cold, and that comes to bite us in the backside every so often. But no, it's overall fewer balls, quality balls is really a lot better deal for us. But as you know, they become a bit of a fashion item as much as anything else.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, that brings me on to the next one, really. The biggest fashion at the moment is probably Jason Belmonte, isn't it? And you got the Timeless coming out soon. When do you get them into the UK?
I think they're actually on the sea right now. Roger, our UK sales manager, as you know, Roger Wichello, he would have more information on that. But I know that they're on the water, and in fact could be with us as soon as 10 days.
I hope the ball's as good as it looks, because it could be one of them that actually changes the market a little bit. We might see more of that kind of one-off type ball. And
yeah, and mind you, we've seen some one-offs in the past that have been unique and died a death.
yeah,
So again, this is the risk.
They end up on a pallet in
Exactly.
the unit for a long
boat
time.
Anchors, boat anchors.
Boat anchors. What's been the best seller over the last 2 or 3 years then? Obviously, it's going to be a Storm virtual reality kind of thing.
It is, yeah. I mean, the top brands, without doubt, have been Storm, and of course the new boys on the block, Motive, have been coming up with some good product too. So it varies. I mean, it's interesting. It goes by the brand. I remember 6-7 years ago, Brunswick was flying high with some quality product. Then Ebonite with the One, and that range of balls did really well. But I think at the moment it's Storm's turn, and Storm and Rotor-Grip is another good brand that they own, which is doing well. So good selection, good variety.
It's changed a lot in respect that the marketing that they're doing now and the fans that they've got, and it's driven by Facebook more than anything now.
Very much so, and great media outlets like Talk Tempin and Facebook are great.
Very kind. to be mentioned with Facebook, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's part of every in the UK in particular. I mean, it's the main media push is always through yourselves and Facebook, and so that it is important. And I'm amazed when I do go around how many people mention Talk Tempin, but not just in the UK. As you know, Boltec is Europe-wide, and people are looking at it all across Europe. I'm sure you get the numbers and you see.
We do, yeah.
And it is amazing. You did a good job, mate. Good job.
Thank
good
you,
job.
thank
Keep
you.
it going.
Have you seen the new website?
I have. Very good.
Thank you.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
10 years now. We needed something.
Well,
we needed
after
a
10
spring
years
clean.
you do.
We did it really mainly for the mobile market because everybody's watching on little phones and
That's
stuff
right.
now, and the old site didn't really go on to the mobiles as well. So that was the reason for it. But just, into the next 10 years, maybe a fresh new outlook. And
and of course your expansion into the live streaming is great. How was Shanghai for you, by the way?
I loved it. Yeah, I loved it. I was really nervous going out there. I didn't know what to expect in China.
Right.
And I'm kind of disappointed in the fact that it wasn't very Chinese.
Right, yeah.
When you get there, and I was looking for the little curved roofs and all the rest. Didn't see any of it. It was
today.
like a city, but a big city.
Yeah.
I got to see the Bund. And I wanted to go to Yew Gardens, but I didn't quite get there.
Right. Okay.
But it was just a really nice place, and nice to have it in an arena for the finals where they self-built it, and then flying the drone was awesome.
Well, I was going to say, where is the drone?
You
didn't bring it.
No,
you've got a little bit of low ceiling height.
Well, as you know, we couldn't really share the sponsorship this year with Cubica MF and Storm and stuff, obviously. So we're going to save it, and hopefully next year we'll bring it for the 30th, and we'll do a deal on it.
Yeah, good.
So, as you know, Nick, we play around with things, green screen, drones, just to do something that nobody else is doing. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, you've not lost
it did
much.
work.
It did, yeah.
Shanghai.
Till I crashed it. But that was funny in itself. But yeah, no, it's really nice to go out there. And the only job I ever wanted in bowling was the World Cup.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I retired tomorrow, then I'd be happy that I got to go to 2 at least. And luckily, I've kept my nose clean and I've worked hard, and I'm getting invited back each year, so we've got Mexico next year.
Which is cracking. Beautiful part of the world.
Hermosillo.
And that is the good news, that if there's a good story coming out of the bowling industry at the moment, it's the growth of bowling in Mexico.
Yeah.
It's a very good, very strong market, and a lot of new centres, a lot of new business there. And they take it seriously, sporting side as well, a bit like the Scandinavians in Europe, where they really put it at the level it should be as a sporting activity rather than as a recreational.
Which brings us on to England and where we're going wrong and all the rest of it. I don't think we're utilising what we've got, the likes of Don Barrett and stuff. I think we need to be pushing him as a focus of the whole thing a little bit more.
A little recognition in things like the Sports Personality of the Year.
Exactly.
Anything
We need 2 seats there.
Yeah.
Just 2 seats.
Yeah, I agree. It is a shame, but you see, we're at the beck and call of the proprietor, and depending on who owns the bowling centre, they decide how and what their operation is going to be and how they're going to run it. As you know, the more traditional centres are allowed to maintain that income stream from league and tournament bowling, whereas a lot of others, hell, you can go in on the lanes in your street shoes if you want, and some have even got carpeted approaches. It's a different world.
Or shorter approaches, or string bowling. That leads us on to string bowling. What's that going to do in the next few years? Because it is a growth market in a big way.
I think it's an economic growth because the capital cost of string machines and the operational cost of string machines is compared to the conventional freefall machines is so different that it will be. I mean, the Hollywood Bowls have opened.
Just started, Southampton. They just put them in, haven't they?
String machines, 16 lanes, I believe. They're about to do one in Derby, 20 lanes, string machines.
So all their new ones are likely going to be strings now.
And commercially, for a recreational market, you can't
Perfect,
argue with it.
Yeah.
The trouble is, who wants to help promote the sport? The reasons behind everything, well, I'm not going to start getting into a controversial discussion that starts slagging people off left, right, and centre, but I think everybody's got a fair idea that we've allowed things to get out of hand at sort of association and structural level right the way down. But hey, we have to make the best of it. As long as people are bowling, we can only hope that the strings will encourage them to move on, take an interest, and then go to those centres that encourage recreation, league and tournament play.
Well, I looked into the string theory and all the rest. String theory, it just sounds like it is technical. There's no association for string bowling whatsoever. It's not a sport. It's not bowling, but it is bowling. But it's not sanctioned in any way.
Well, hang on a second, because in Canada, they are now, the 10-pin Bowling Association in Canada is now considering sanctioning string centres for play, and I think they've given some temporary test sites jurisdiction and sanction, and they're looking into encompassing them. I personally think we should
We've got to embrace it.
Exactly. They take it in, allow leagues on string centres. Why the hell not?
Yeah.
So that people get into the game and then decide, well, I do like this, and if I want to become even better or get really up to the next level in this hierarchy of provision, I can go onto a centre that does provide. So I believe there is a structured hierarchy. The 2 or 4 lanes with a little bar bowling, people encouraged, fine. Goes up to the next size centre where it becomes a bit more competitive until you get at the top of the ladder, your sport training facility with pro shop and everything else. So
it's like with the Bolingo and the Highway 66. That might be the first time you ever experienced any kind of bowling.
Correct.
Then you go on to the full size.
Absolutely.
I mean, we all had a little bowling set when we were kids, and
I still have. But you're right, and anything, hence the adverts, the marketing, everything you see with bowling in it, or mentions bowling, TV series where they go bowl, every little bit helps. And as long as it puts the thought into people's minds, then that's great, and I'm all for it. But I also believe that there needs to be a better structured development of the sport, and that starts at the top.
Yeah.
And it goes from the top and works its way down. Manage by example. If you've got an association there running a facility, or beg your pardon, running the sport, they should be in communication with the proprietors who are the masters of their destiny.
Yeah.
And have to get into that program of encouraging them to, instead of closing on a Monday and Tuesday because there's no business, open on a Monday, Tuesday and put your leagues into the Monday and Tuesday. You're creating an income stream. Where the hell is the downside in that?
And the other thing, you just touched on something there about the way we play the sport. We're playing it on a weekend most of the time when really we should be playing it through the week.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Monday, Tuesday. I would willingly give my centre away free to bowlers on a Monday night, free bowling to bowl in a league, rather than keep it shut.
Yeah.
I used to do it, you know, I'm that bloody old. In the old days at Stretton Bowl, where I started in the bowling business, I went into a bowling centre, it was 30 lanes when I started, 36 when I finished 3 years later, that was doing no business. I encouraged all the local schools to send on a wet Wednesday when they couldn't play soccer or other outdoor sports to come and have the bowling facility free during the day. I would give everything to them, they only had to get the pupils there. That was where kids like Ian Shahid and other youngsters from the area who went on to be great bowlers came in with their schools, enjoyed it. When they were there, we said, come back on Saturday morning, we've got a junior club. You can bowl free there for the first few weeks, see what you think. Bring your mum and dad along so they can see what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's about nurturing. If you don't plant the damn seed, you'll never get a tree.
True enough, yeah. Where are we in the amount of membership we've got now? It's pretty much run by the juniors still. I think we've still got about 5 or 6,000 juniors maybe, and that's probably the lion's share of the BTBA numbers.
And to be honest, I don't know that is an accurate number.
No, it's probably smaller actually now.
I
Thinking
believe,
about it, I'm being conservative there with it.
I think that the number is smaller, but definitely that's where you've got to start, and that's why every year Boltac has their special YBC bowler that they sponsor.
Yeah.
We write to all the YBCs, say a kid that's really into it, who's either parents can't really afford to manage them further and give them what they need, we give them the equipment.
Yeah,
one kid every year will choose and just try and create a little interest like that. And whatever you can do.
Well, I've got to thank you really on behalf of the sport, Nick, because you've done a lot for the sport over these things
thanks.
that people don't even know about. I mean, I don't even know about some of the crap you've done. So many, you're always putting back into it here, there, and everywhere. And
well, if you take from it, you've got to give to it. So it's a share situation. But thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it.
No, thank you.
No.
You've been good for the sport, and hopefully it's for a long time yet. You're not planning on retiring anytime soon, are you?
Even if I did, I wouldn't be giving up on the sport. No.
That's good. And did you ever bowl much yourself over the years?
I bowled when I first started as a 21-year-old manager in Stretton Bowl. I thought, I've got to find out what this is all about. And I got into a doubles handicap league on a Tuesday night to bowl with one of the other members of staff who would show me, and I got absolutely hooked. I got hooked. And I'm going to give you my big claim to fame. I picked up a sanctioned 7-10 split during league play. I even have the BTBA badge to prove it on my old Volvo shirt that I used to wear in those days, which of course now is a bit tired. But
excellent.
So I bowled for a couple of years while I was there just to be in with the thing. And later created the Mecca Sport bowling team, which was the old Treetops, the Colin Preslins, Keith Pragnall, and all the guys from there. And I used to go on the European tours with them, to the Canines, Shape, Mons, all the good European tournaments. And I'd love to get back to those days, because for me, team bowling, the good team bowling events are the best.
5 man's gone, hasn't it? That's the thing.
Tragically, it has. And that's because there's not enough bowlers to fill a 5-man team, honestly.
True, yeah.
You know, the singles matches and the one-on-ones, great competitive stuff, but it's not about the social side of the game, which was always the team bowling.
Yeah. Has it been a combination of things that's made it go backwards then over the years then? The fact that there's more things to do now, more TV channels, games consoles,
it's
all
fashion,
the rest of it.
It is. It's fashion changes. It's technology. It's a little bit of everything. I mean, if you recall, technology helped bowling when automatic scoring came in. Boosted it big time, because suddenly people knew what the hell they were doing, or they didn't have to do it, it was done for them. So that did make a big difference.
Has that hindered it a little bit as well, though, because people used to be able to score in the old days, and they understood it a little bit more, and now it's all done for you. I've got 150. I don't know how I got it, but I've got it.
You can't close off that open frame with a little line. You can't bracket off it. I mean, you're right. And in fact, sad guy, I've kept one Telescore projector.
You've got
an
one
old
still?
Brunswick Telescore projector, one that I've kept tucked away, and I keep thinking to myself, one day I'm going to build these couple of lanes
and put one
that
in.
I'm going to put completely retro and put my Telescore screen back in there.
Leading me on to the next thing, is there many of them still around? I mean, you'll know where everything is. Is there still somewhere that could make a proper retro centre?
I think
enough. 5 of them or 4 of them, or
they're proper retro centres. There aren't. No. Telescore screens, I know of, I think, 2 centres that I've heard of in the United States that still have Telescore that didn't convert. Nowhere in the UK has Telescore anymore.
No, nobody's
so
got
they've all gone.
But they've all gone. They've all been scrapped.
They've all been scrapped and dumped. And in fact, in the late 90s, at the height of the boom and so on, anybody that had any of that stuff just dumped it, because it was so out of date that it was perceived as never going to be coming back. It's like an early Apple computer today.
Yeah.
What's that worth?
Oh, God, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I remember throwing mine away.
Yeah. I remember having one of the old Magic Triangles, the blue one that came out of Leeds, and I had it in my garage for a long time. And I got home and my mum had thrown it away.
Yeah.
What you done that for? Yeah. Like another 50 years' time, that's going to be like worth something.
Yeah, Dom, hindsight is 2020, mate.
No. It's funny, I got an email last week from... who is it now? It's Auction Hunters or something like that, TV show. And they go into various old buildings and they're looking for fixtures and fittings and stuff like that. And they were asking me where in the UK could we get anything really old. So I actually called Roger and I said, does Nick know anywhere? And I don't know if he got to you on it. And Acox Green, I thought, had a possibility of something
out.
there. I know they've changed everything, but it's still that old building. They might still have a... I don't think they were necessarily looking for bowling equipment. It were more light fittings and all the rest of it.
I know exactly where you could find a ton of stuff like that.
Yeah?
And it's in a place called Tulia, Texas. And it's a warehouse. Well, actually, it's a whole load of chicken sheds that used to be owned by a guy called Dan Tucker, and now his sons, Darryl and Dan Jr., are running it there. They have probably got the biggest stock of old, what we would call crap, available in the world. And I had to build a bowling lane in a private home for Michael Ashley's wife, the Newcastle United owner, for his wife. And she wanted everything in black and white with retro look. And I found an old Brunswick retro pair drop ball return, which these guys had, and had it completely restored, but pure white.
Wow.
Stunning. The lane was white, the gutters were black. And
see, you do all these little gigs, but I never see any photographs of them.
Oh,
I know you've done Lewis Hamilton and all the rest of them.
No. My friends at Cubic AMF did.
Oh,
Lewis
did they
Hamilton,
do that one?
yeah.
Sorry.
No. I did Bernie Eccleston's daughter's
Bernie Eccleston's.
one. Tamara did her
Tamara's.
one, so that one was a lovely installation. But the white one was very, very cool, very different. And yeah, that's, again, interesting stuff, but that is how Tulia, Texas came to my mind, because they had a lot of this old stuff. Funnily, I don't know, All-Star Lanes in London also, in Brick Lane and Holborn. They had the same desire to have this sort of retro look, and the same pair drop old Brunswick ball returns. Got those from the same guy in Texas, and they're.
I knew you'd be the guy to speak to. I'll get those details this week and pass them on.
Anything you need, yeah. If you need
I think they were just looking for UK, but they might have been looking for outside UK as well. So
yeah, no, anything like that. Fortunately, after 40 plus years in the business, you get to know where not just the good stuff is, but the crap as well.
You know where the crap is as well. The only thing I could think of was the Acox Green, and then Hollywood Bowl having units full of all the stuff that they've taken from other centres. So I did actually pass them on to my friend Sean at Leeds, who passed them on to Carl at Hollywood.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to go down and look in their unit. But
yeah, Sheffield used to have a lot of stuff down the back.
yeah, Sheffield's another one. Sheffield's probably still got it all.
I was going to say
in
Sheffield
position
had
as
a
well.
lot of stuff down there.
Yeah.
But if anybody needs any old crap, guaranteed I've got some.
Bear
and
that in mind.
£16 bowling balls.
And he's still got a lot of them.
Oh yeah, always got them. Always got them.
Have you got some really, really old ones now? Because they're coming back now, aren't there? Things like Blue Hammers and. Do you still have?
Do you know the tragedy? The tragedy is there's bowlingball.com is a big online sales company in the States. Keith Spears out of Florida, and I had all the old stuff that I hadn't sold for years, and I did a deal and sold a container of my stuff back to him, which was a good deal for me because I'd converted stuff that hadn't gone into cash. But then when I looked at his retro ball website about 3 months later, holy cow, he was getting some money, and they were going big time. I mean, a ball that he bought off me for maybe $25 was on there for $150, and they were flying out.
Yeah.
And I thought, I really thought I was smart, but this guy.
Didn't quite see it.
We always have some old stuff. I've kept a few bits and pieces from the old days that I would never let go of. Some of the early fun balls and things like that, which are cool. But there's always stuff out there. It's a bit like that Salvage Hunters or whatever else, and those pickers in American pickers. There you go. That stuff is still around.
Yeah, I find them shows interesting. I'd like to see him do a bowling one and see all that old stuff.
Yeah,
but I'm glad there's still some around somewhere.
Oh, there is definitely, and if you ever need anything along those lines, you just let me know.
I'd have a pink hammer, if you could ever find a pink hammer. I wouldn't bowl with it. I really like that ball.
Remember the white XS, the first?
Oh,
one?
it was horrible.
It was horrible. Yeah, that was one of those balls that. We found one of those in the back store the other day, but.
You didn't do like Atari and bury a load somewhere, and
they all went back to this guy in the States, and would you believe he was selling them for good money?
That's a shame. That
somebody somewhere always wants something.
Yeah, it's funny how things go full circle with things. They're all going for like more surface on the ball now, not so much shiny. They want the old The old
Yeah.
urethane and something that doesn't react as much.
In some conditions, you're right. That's exactly the ball of choice. In fact, we started to see that about 2 years ago. Suddenly the demand for the straightforward urethane rather than reactive balls was kicking in. And on occasions now, I mean, in some of the conditions you get in the UK, we see people using polys to really, because otherwise the ball just ain't going to stay on the lane. You need to put more oil down, folks.
Do you ever see any of the old rubber balls still around?
No, but I have my old original black Manhattan rubber.
Yeah?
Yeah, from 1972 that I never got rid of.
We'll start taking some photographs of your old memorabilia and let's show everybody it, because I think it'll inspire other people to have a look in their garden sheds and stuff. And
I tell you what I have got. This would be a good one. I can give you this to do as an auction or a prize or something. The original Manhattan rubber poster framed for when the ball first came out. I've got that
that'd be
somewhere
cool.
in the warehouse.
Yeah.
Saw that the other day as well. So
I need to speak to you again actually about the timeline, because I've not got enough up there yet of the when certain things came in. I still need to put the story of when Storm reached the UK, and
gotcha.
I've got Ebonite. I've got Ebonite at about 1967 or something. The first balls came through.
Yeah, it was Marcel Demery in Sheffield that was the first Ebonite distributor in the UK.
Yeah, I think Keith Hill said he brought some prior to that though.
Directly, yeah, when he was the DBA distributor based in the Airport Bowl.
Yeah, he said
many
he'd
years ago.
flown over to there and had to.
He flew everywhere.
Oh God, yeah.
Good old Keith.
Yeah, and he flew himself as well, didn't he?
He did,
pilot,
yeah. I remember a great story that we had a customer wanted some bowling shirts in Brussels, and to get there in time for the tournament, Keith actually hired a plane, delivered them himself, and then flew back. I don't think you make a lot of money on that trip, but
no,
he
different
certainly
days
added
when
up
you
his
could do
hours.
that, yeah.
Yeah, still. Oh, good. Great stories.
We're just coming up to the end of this game now, so we'll go for a quick commercial break, and we'll be back in another 3 or 4 minutes. So just bear with us a moment. We'll go with the timeless this time, I think.
Timeless, not affected by a passage of time. The first thing you're going to notice when you hold Timeless is this is a statement piece. Once your hands wrap around the ball, the cover stock, the R2S hybrid, one of Storm's most successful cover stocks of all time, you're going to feel the tackiness, knowing that once that ball hits the lane, it's going to grab the friction at the exact moment it needs to give you the absolute perfect angle of entry into the pocket. The pins have no chance. And that performance is going to be seen time and time again every single time you throw this ball. This is why the ball is timeless. Storm created a new line called the Signature Series to fit Timeless in. No longer are we governed by RGs and differentials. Now we're governed by movement of the ball. The technology in Timeless is unprecedented, it's unique, it's innovative, it's industry leading. You're going to see the most powerful symmetrical weight blocks mixed with our most successful cover stock in history, all wrapped into one bowling ball.
Have we got sound? We've got sound now. Right, let's start again then. I'm joined now by Peter Selmoff from Storm. And what's your position at Storm?
I am the global technical director, so I go around the planet and explain what our products do, and really show people what the product, why we're coming out with a specific product and what it's supposed to do.
Have you had any input in the equipment being made over the years? Have you kind
Sure.
of
Yeah. When we
the
started,
types of balls that have been made? And
yeah, when we started, it was it was all guesswork. We were looking at things that were working and other products that were really strong, and we worked with a manufacturer of the resins that their expertise was not bowling. Their expertise was in making fiberglass for boats. So all of us were very, very new at this when it started. Now it's remarkably sophisticated. I wouldn't even have an idea of what's going on. Victor, Marino, and Hank Boomershine, these guys, they think very mathematically and very geometrically and use CAD programs. And now, as opposed to looking at a material and saying this part's going to be heavier, therefore it's going to cause this effect, now we're doing it with shapes. And that's a much more sophisticated way of doing it, as well as the materials. I mean, it's changed dramatically, as you can tell. And we really try to have our finger on the pulse of what is happening environmentally. That's where bowling's a little bit different, because it's really the only sport where your ball is in continual contact with the playing surface. From that point, we take a look at how the playing surfaces change, how the wear of the bowling balls change. From my world, working with people as far as how to roll the ball, that's why, USBC Gold Coach, that's why it's important. IPSIA. This is also one of the only sports where you put your hand in something. You're putting it in an object that doesn't move, and it's not like you can adjust your grip like you could with a golf club or a cricket bat or anything like that. Once your hand is there, your hand has to be there. It's a very unnatural thing where you're walking with the ball and you're putting, the ball is going away from your body. A lot of things have to happen in a bowling game that are very, very sophisticated, and it's a bit of experience. We feel it's very, very important to educate people around the world. And, we're really trying to be in tune because, like I say, we're all bowlers. We all have a bowling background. My background's European. I'm first generation United States. Robert Dong is Korean. That's why he's in Asia. All our salespeople domestically live in that area.
Yeah.
So they're really speaking with the players. When is it the Bowlers Company? It's a cute little cash line, but it actually really is. It
is actually
true.
a Bowlers Company. Yeah.
When you walk into Storm, we end up spending a lot of time, spending hours afterwards. I'm there once a month. It gives you an idea. As opposed to me just getting information or being on the phone, and in this digital area we can do that all the time, or a little video conference. We have those as well. But I go to the plant once a month. I live in Seattle, and it's important that I'm there to spend 2 days with Steve Klemkin, with Hank, with Victor, so we're all getting ideas of what's going on, so I understand exactly what we're trying to say, what we're coming out with. Where people get a little confused is when we come up with a new product, we're not just coming up with a new product and you have to have that ball. We're really trying to look at a line and have something that's designed for everybody, meaning every different skill level, every different type of way they're throwing the ball. We're really trying to,
That's a difficult thing to do, isn't it?
It's not difficult.
The diversity of bowling sort of thing.
Right. It's difficult to get people to understand what we're doing for them. We're going, why are you coming out with this? It doesn't do this. Well, it's not designed for you. Again, it's a very individual game. Everybody does something a little bit different. And as a manufacturer, you can't be biased in what you think is good. I like this look. You have to encompass not only a line of equipment, but also culturally around the world.
Yeah. Well, the naming of balls can upset people in other countries.
That's exactly right. When we did the scents in the ball, when we first started doing that, I remember I was in Finland, and you can't make everybody happy. They hate the color red. They really do. And cherry is the absolute. They said, when you come out with the next ball, please don't make it red, and please don't have the scent cherry. Well, before I knew it, the next ball was exactly that. So we will have, and I always hear that, this ball, why did you get rid of this ball? It was so great, and another place they won't like it. So it is really difficult, and now we're getting words from everybody. We hear from every ideas and what needs to be done and all these things. But we really try to be fair, and that's why we have. It's not just this, totalitarian idea of we're coming out with this. 6 months from now we're doing this ball on this day and that's it. We change our release dates. We change things based on what the market is doing. And it's not just predicated on sales.
Yeah, it's fluid.
It's what needs to be out there, what's happening.
Yeah, keeping an eye on what's going on in the world, so to speak, yeah.
And that's why we sponsor tournaments, and that's why we sponsor individuals. We are dedicated to the sport of bowling. We are dedicated to keeping this going. It's a great social game. It's from, and not just from the point of tournaments like this, the better players. We're looking at doing things with seniors, not just kids. We're looking at really trying, this is one of the few activities you can do for a lifetime, and it's one of the few activities where the social part of that is also very critical. These players don't just show up and bowl and go to their hotel rooms. You notice they send, you've been
they
around.
Interact,
they
drink.
interact. Right.
Yeah.
And so we see this on so many different levels.
See if there's any. If you've got any questions for Peter Somoff, just feel free to send them in. We're basically talking about the bowling at the moment. When did you start bowling?
I started bowling when I was 17 years old. I was a frustrated skier.
Skier?
I skied from the time I was 4 years old until I was 17. I was about one race away from being on the U.S. ski team.
Really?
But it's very, very political, very, very expensive to get up there. And I wanted to do something different, and bowling spoke to me. I said I want to do something where it was just had to do with me. So I went to a bowling center. And, of course, nobody gave you bowling balls. I got a 14-pound Ace rubber ball. It's drilled conventionally. I practiced 8 hours a day. Eventually, I got a job in the bowling center so I could afford to pay for my bowling.
Yeah.
And long story short, 3 years later, I was out on tour.
Wow.
And that's what happened. It's a game of maturity. I got kicked around out there. And I spent one full year out there in 1982, and didn't like the travel, it just didn't fit me, and that's how I started. My interest was drilling bowling balls. I studied physiology and kinesiology at the University of Washington, and I didn't get, taking care of yourself was okay, but I got more satisfaction in helping people. I became an accomplished player, and it's funny, once you succeed in something else, you relax, and then that's when bowling, spoke to me. I was a PBA member for 20 years.
Wow.
But my brain went into the pro shop business, so I started a pro shop, and eventually that grew into 14 pro shops.
Wow.
That's how Bill and I got together. Bill contacted me in Seattle, and that's how we started. So it was actually not even Storm. I was there before Storm was even Storm.
Yeah, you called something else before.
High Score products.
High Score, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I remember the very first ones that came in through Nick and stuff. And
right.
Because I was banging into my bowling like late 90s, early 90s, late 90s. When did you first ship the Storm balls into England?
I want to say that was like 96,
95, 96, yeah.
In that area. And
I tried tracing
No, I'm sorry. That was before that. It was probably 94, 93, 94.
Right.
Because we started in 91 and produced our first few products. And, as you're making these products, we had blems, we had pins that were too far out and things like this. And so Nick, wisely bought those to try to help this market here. Now, the quality, just to tell you, the quality of Storm products is so high that we have, as far as defectives or blems, which means not first balls, is less than 1%.
Yeah, I remember you used to get a lot of blems in the late 90s and stuff, but you don't hear them anymore.
Not anymore.
At all.
We really do everything we can to make the products the best in the world. Even the tanks that hold the material have the proper humidity to them. They're temperature controlled year round. That's what used to make bowling balls different from different companies. A ball that was made in Texas, for example, by Columbia, and a ball that was made in Hopkinsville or up in Muskegon, Brunswick, they would rack differently, partly because of the temperature of the material and how it's stored.
Right.
But you learn those things the hard way. There's no book on making bowling balls.
Yeah.
And now, everything is done, correctly. We try to make it so that when people get products, it is a consistent product.
This new product now from Jason and yourselves, the Timeless one, where did that come about? Because players have kind of designed balls or been involved with balls before, like Carmen Salvino and other ones, but this one seems to be the first one that's a little bit different. I can't explain it. It seems different.
It's a little bit more mellow. Jason, but the nice thing about that is Jason's a phenomenal player, obviously, and he worked with the guys at Storm. So it is, that concept happens a lot. The reports come back off the road on what we think needs to be done or what the need out in the public is, what kind of product it is. Two-handed release is very, very different. It's a lot of revolutions. You don't need a ball with a tremendous amount of instability to it. He knows exactly the look he's looking for, and especially for a group of players. If you're going to say generically, how would I make a ball for a group of individuals? Well, there's a lot of different cadences that come into that, right? It's not so easy.
Yeah.
So you first have to get that concept and that idea down, and then our designers, Hank, Victor, Corbett, all the guys in the staff, start to put things together. And they start to get the idea of as far as the balance or imbalance. And then now the materials. What kind of material are we going to put to that? Adding all these things together. It's not just, here you go do it. It was kind of funny. I had, in the UK one time, I had a seminar, and they were complaining about products we were doing or whatever, and why don't you do this and why don't you do that? And I said, you know what? Let's design a ball right now. And I was just as arrogant this way when we started. Why don't we just do this? Well, it's really easy to say what's wrong.
Yeah.
Now try to create it.
Yeah.
And then you find out it's not so easy.
No.
And not so easy. So Jason has an idea. They take it forward, and then you have to make a few molds. Maybe that works. That doesn't work. It's a very expensive product. Every time you make a new weight block, it's a huge commitment because first you have to make a few experimental ones, and then you have to create a metal mold to make that. It's a very expensive process, and down the line, is this going to work, or is it in the end? Is it going to be a good idea? Sometimes we've completely turned away from it. We've turned away from some designs and come back years later.
Yeah.
Because at that point in time,
it wasn't ready.
It wasn't ready.
Yeah.
A good example of that was the Ultra Angle. The Ultra Angle flared a lot. Well, we didn't understand what that meant, and so therefore it didn't do very well at that time. The material didn't match up with it very well. Now, of course, that would be a really great product to have.
Yeah.
Hammers, when they first came out, they were polyester balls. They were around for a long, long time. With that material, it wasn't strong enough. When urethane came out, all of a sudden that ball became popular. So we have you have to have a foot in the past to understand the future.
Yeah, you need to know where you've been to know where you're going,
Right.
basically.
And that's the real problem, I think, when bowling that happens a lot is people look only what's going on right now. Most of our people that we have had experience from how the game's changed. The game's not that different now. It's just a different angle. You used to, the bowling balls were never stronger than the lane surface, so the bowling balls always had to create friction. So therefore, you had to square up and make the ball never miss to the right. If you missed to the right, you were dead.
Yeah.
Well, now it's just the opposite. The only thing that's changed is the angle's changed. Now you have to miss to the right. Somebody has to have an idea of where it came from in order to be able to do that.
Yeah.
To understand that. So Jason's just another part of that. It's it's every era is a little bit different. It's an environmental game. I have no idea where this environment's going to go. It's probably going to go somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
And we have no idea. But so that's the purpose. There's never been anybody who's really dedicated a ball or equipment to this style, specifically to this style, and that's what we're trying to do.
Right. How long did the process take for, say, Jason's ball or many balls in general? You come up with this concept, the idea, and all the rest of it, and from that point till the actual release, are we talking a year or 2 years?
It can be.
Or sometime?
I mean, there's no set time on that, and I can't really speak as well about it as the guys that are doing it. But I would say to get everything done is at least 3 to 6 months.
Right. So it's quite quick then.
I mean, you're still producing all the other products as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you think 3 to 6 months just getting, that's just getting it going. That's not making the logo, the brands, all those things. That's just getting the basic concept of the ball. And then again, we have other markets where they really like to have very many different models. So it's very, very complicated. We have probably 90 balls a year, 90 releases with the Asian market, because we have one product that's very, very good, they want several others following it because they like the individualism of it.
Yeah.
Then you have the European market that wants all the marketing behind the major brand. They want, for example, a lock. They want the lock. They don't want other, And then you have the U.S. market. There's a lot going on. So we not only have to develop the new products, we still have to fulfill all the lines that were already in existence.
Yeah.
So it is really a matter of, you could have the concept with the designers, but now you also have to coordinate the factory time. So it's how they do it is amazing.
It does sound amazing. It sounds complicated.
It's very complicated. 45 people touch a ball.
Really?
Every single ball.
Wow.
It is really a handmade product.
Wow. That's impressive. From development to the actual making of it, or the actual making of it?
Actually making
45
the ball.
different people make
the
the
ball
ball.
gets touched 45 times.
Wow.
From pouring the mold to unmolding it to putting in the weight to pouring the shell to drilling the hole for the mill hole to pouring the pin to engraving it, all the way down the line.
Wow.
And that's why our serial numbers are so long, because we track everything about that product.
Wow.
We are really dedicated to making the best products in the world. That's where everybody really is focused. It's not just a matter of getting something out there. We are a very, very prideful company.
Well, to be fair, your marketing's amazing, but if the product wasn't that good behind it, then you wouldn't probably sell as much as you are doing. So it is actually the product that sells more than the marketing, really.
No, that is it. I mean, you're right. You can't disguise poor performance. And the marketing, we were different from a point when we first started. It was about branding, and it was about getting people to understand the name and who we were. I think they do that now. So now there's a different look. It's all about getting the people to be supported, getting the information out there, and to be honest with you, listening. So, for example, we're going to be doing something next month. I'm going to be coming over with my colleague Bill Supper, and we're doing a roundtable with all the pro shops throughout Europe. And this is not for us to tell you what's going on. This is for us to listen.
Find out what is going on.
Yeah, and really want to listen and react to what is needed and what people want, what the concerns are. We did that in the United States, and we're going to do everything we can to fulfill that customer's needs. That's all we want. We want to help. We want to keep bowling alive. We want to keep bowling doing as well as we can, and that's where our dedication is.
Well, I can only thank you for doing what you've done over the last 20, 30 years. I'm just impressed by the fact that you beat the big boys. You came in as the upstarts, and Eb and I maybe looked at you guys. They're not going to be around too long. And AMF at the time, and Columbia, they're all big companies at that time, and you were just the little upstarts, and then you've just flown.
Thank you
taking
for
time,
that.
but you've.
Thank you for that. Well, all you can do is focus on what you're doing. If you're concerning yourself, I say this about any business. If you can be aware of what other people are doing, and you can be positive if they do something well, or if a trend is well, and you can adapt to those things. But all you can really do is be sincere and passionate about what you're into, and focus on what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you, I would say the same thing when I had my pro shops. People are so focused on, well, if you do this, we'll bring many more people in. Really? How about if I just take care of you? How about if I just really work on taking care of you? The rest takes care of itself. And that's really where Storm's at. We are all people that, we have 2 lanes in the bowling center, it's in the plant itself. And, oftentimes after work or during work, you'll have 5 or 6 of the guys,
Just going bowling.
talking about things. Dave Sims, our president, is a good friend of mine. I just changed his grip and moved him back up to 16 pounds. This has nothing to do with business. And he's texting me back and forth, excited about how he's throwing the ball now. We do this, so it's a very much of a family, and we're really into what we're doing, and we're proud of what we're doing.
Yeah.
And
it's a baby. Each ball's a new baby, isn't it?
Yeah,
to a degree.
it is.
A new child being thrown out into the world.
Right. And Bill and Barbara are still as focused as they ever have been. They're still excited about it. We are so interchangeable. Tim Mack here. We see each other, and we are, at Bowl Expo every year, and we could just interchange parts and work with each other because we all have the same focus.
Yeah.
I think that's very rare. I think that's why the products are what they are, because there's a pride that goes into, and again, that passion. You can imagine if you were making wine, for example, and you didn't drink wine.
Yeah.
How good could it be? And I can't speak for other companies. I think everybody does what they can and how well they can do it. But I know for us, everybody's involved. The company we get along with very, very well is Kegel. And our personalities meld with them very, very well. And they're very much in the same mold. When you go to Cable and Lake Wells, they have their training center. You end up talking about bowling all the time. They're very.
It's more about the advancement of the sport rather than making money from it.
Yeah. I think you find when any place they focus on the money first, the product lingers way behind.
Yeah. I think you're more than right there. Yeah, pride in their product really first, and then.
Or just what you're doing. There's a tournament in Seattle called the Seattle Masters. And it was, 2 spots. You would get you get an entry into the Masters, the National Masters tournament. And it was going downhill, and they had 70 entries and 60 entries, and they're all bowling's going downhill. And, they got a guy in there who wasn't afraid to do different things. He would go to companies around, and he'd get, sponsoring donations. He promoted this thing. And you know what? The last 3 years, their entries have been 160, 180, 180. So really, was it that it's going down, or that somebody had some passion and wanted to do something about it?
Yeah, and just a little bit of hard work here and there can do wonders, can't it?
People follow that. I mean, we're now I'm really going to get on a soapbox. We're in this era where everything's through social, electronic, but nobody talks to anybody.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear through an email what you think. I mean, it's a way of communication. Boy, I'd rather talk to you. I'd rather see what's going on. I'd rather get an idea, and that's an investment. And that's an investment we're not afraid to do. We have people on the road around the world continually. But when you have that, and you also listen to those people, and both sides listen to each other. We have a lot of times where we'll try to we see it from a different point here, and maybe it's already been done somewhere else around the world, and whatever. We get together. It's very little egos. And Bill is a really good man as far as from the beginning. I mean, he's always been this way, that they'll invest first. He'll give it a chance. And it's not about what is this going to pay in the end. It is, does this help? Does this help, either the sport? Does it help us? Does it help communication? That's what it's about. We're just filling a need.
It's not stifling innovation then, is it? If you're willing to make a chance on things, you're going to innovate. But if you hold back, then you're never really going to advance.
Right, and plus you have to develop relationships around. You have to develop relations, and so people in Asia are going to be different culture and different relationships than they would be here, for example.
Yeah.
But everybody's voice is important. So if you have somebody, you notice something also about this company. It's the same people for a long time.
True. Yeah.
Tim's been around for, we've been, 20, 25 years plus, right?
Yeah, the only way out of the company is to die, basically. Nobody leaves.
Nobody leaves. That's a pretty strong statement right there, because you see, I'm not even saying in bowling, but just in general in other companies, very high turnover rate, turnover in policies and all that. And it's very comforting that when we come out with new products, our policies don't change that much. You have that trusted voice you can talk to.
Yeah.
And it's also comforting for us, knowing that, Bill is there and all the people we've dealt with forever. This family unit's still very strong.
Well, I've got some questions for you then. For those up-and-coming bowlers like Coach Carter, Ryan Carter out there in the States, how would one go about getting seen by Storm or possibly getting a ball deal? What do you look for in people to become various levels of staff player?
Well, I mean, that's the question we get all the time. Is I get hundreds and hundreds of requests.
Everybody wants free balls, though.
Everybody wants free equipment, and what I'm going to say is not very, very popular. Okay, so as opposed to asking what we can do for you,
what can you do for us? Yeah.
What are you willing to do? Throwing the bowling ball is not necessarily important because everybody's throwing the ball. I don't want to sound real arrogant about this, but if we're giving equipment away, it's a deal, okay? Then I would want to know what that person's going to do. You know, to be seen. The advice I would give any player, if you work hard at your game and you get good enough, don't worry. We'll see you.
Yeah.
We'll find you. If you're asking us, that means you're not at that point yet, okay? But there's other things and there's other reasons that people get sponsored. If they're helping a community, if they can do something. I request of people now that, for example, if you're on our staff, then I want you, if I'm doing an event on a Saturday, I want you there that Saturday working for the entire day. It's only fair.
Yeah.
If we're both working, you know, if you're a part of that group. But it's a little bit more of a partnership now. Because, again, there's so much. Sponsorship used to be, I'm not saying it's not important, but it was a lot more viable and it was a different article when we didn't have phones that videoed everything. Because, quite frankly, you would have areas where people weren't exposed to it. You didn't have the internet as much. You didn't have all the social media. You didn't have these things up. And bowler would be kind of a representative or spreading, you know, we'd have that person using that ball because that's the only place it'd be really seen is him bowling locally or her bowling locally.
Yeah.
That's clearly not the case now. I mean, everybody knows about products well in advance. So if that is not the case, and it's not a matter of rolling this ball and what's going on, what then would be an advantage for us to have somebody throwing the ball? Well, they, in essence, would be our salesperson. They'd be promoting the product, giving us feedback, letting us know what's, you know, we're hearing this, you know, information to help us. That's what the partnership would have to be.
So there you go, folks. It's not all about bowling with the bowling balls. It's about being able to promote the bowling balls more than anything.
Be able to be a communicator.
Yeah.
Be able to, for us to really what we look for, we've always looked for in people we sponsor is, number one, they're a good person. Number one, they represent themselves and us well.
Yeah.
As far as, you know, open to people, not, you know, not surly, not, you know, and secondly, that they are into what they're doing and they give us feedback. And that's what I'm asking more and more and more. We can't be here all the time. I'm here 4 or 5 times a year. What about the rest of the time? There's things we don't see. If other tournaments are being run very, very well, you know, not just the bad things, the good things. What are things that you see that are great that we could adapt, that it benefits everybody? That's all we're trying to do. That is a very important, I'm sure you understand that.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a very important part. And it used to be, yes, that's where it might be confusing, because it used to be just rolling the ball. But we're really not at that point where exposure is that critical anymore.
Yeah, you don't need the advertising most of the time now, do you? People are doing it for you.
Well, and yeah, I suppose that's true. But it's not the advertising. It's the communication. You know, it's not that we don't need advertising, but we sure would love to know. You know, when we do an ad or we do something or we promote something, we'd like to know if it's working, if it's good, if it's what people want.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to fill a need. So somebody we're sponsoring would be a person that would help us in that area.
There you go, folks. There's your answer. So stop asking for balls until you can give something back.
No, you can still ask. That's fine. It's all right.
But like you say, you get asked it so many times.
Well, it's natural. I mean, I understand it from their standpoint, too.
And I suppose the second most asked question probably would be, how do you name your bowling balls?
That's not as hard as what scent do we try to put in the bowling balls.
Is it hard to put the scent in? Yeah.
You know, the bowling, that's a hard process because, you know, when you talk about naming a bowling ball, I mean, they come from, you know, it's whoever has an idea. The ideas get floated around. First thing you have to do is, has that been done before?
Yeah.
Has anybody had this idea? And there's been several times we've come up with a name or come up with a color scheme, and right before we're ready to release it, somebody else has done that. So we have to kind of hold back and do it. there's no science to it. It just, again, that is what's going on, what hits us at the point in time. That's the marketing part. And some guys, it's just, they throw things and see whatever sticks to the wall.
Who names them generally? Within the company?
Well, it comes from,
is it just like you say, it's a collective effort?
It can be a collective effort.
Somebody has
yes.
an idea, and
that's it. I mean, it's a lot of the guys inside the company, but yes, it could literally come from anywhere.
Wow, that's cool.
And the sense is because some sense, Steve Klemkin, who is our head of marketing now, and Steve used to be our main technical guy. He has the task of getting all these scents from this company, and some don't work with urethane very well, but he literally has hundreds of bottles of different scents in his office, and we spend our time, going, and I never thought it would come to this point of smelling these bottles. I wonder if that'll be good. I wonder if pineapple is good for this ball. Oh, I think coffee doesn't work. It's kind of. I kept saying we should do Scotch, but nobody wants to do that one.
Why not?
That's right. But it's that we just did that for fun, and that's funny. The scent of the bowling ball got us, and that's all Bill's idea. See, Bill used to be in janitorial supplies.
All right.
And that's how he started years before. And it was in janitorial supplies, you put scents in the supplies to make them pleasant, and that just came to his head.
It is pretty genius, in it.
You know what? It really was. That has gotten us more attention than anything that we've ever done.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, you can just tell if somebody's looking at a Storm bowling ball because everybody, exactly right, goes to pick them up to smell what they smell like. So, you never know when things come from. But the statement behind that is, it's just a game.
Yeah.
There's that balance, too, where we're trying to not make things so absolutely heavy, serious, and not focus towards just the best players, but really towards everybody. That's why we do the tropicals in so many different colors to appeal to that audience. We really want to make a high-performance ball for the lady who, is 70 years old and bowls once a week and has a 10-pound ball. We want to give her something that is attractive, that smells good, that also gives her a chance to do well.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what it is. If it makes you smile, fantastic. If we feel that everybody can contribute somewhere.
Where are you next?
I'm in 2 hours. I'm going off to Germany.
I said you weren't there long, yeah.
And then I was
in
Sweden yesterday. This is the setting up the meetings for the rest of the year. So I'm in a different country every day.
Wow, so much travelled.
But travel, it's what it takes, right? I mean, it's much better than.
Got to do what you
like
got to do.
Like I say, we
spend
really,
your life in airports though. Checking in, checking out, checking in, checking out.
It sounds glamorous, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. When you go to all these places and they ask what the place is like, and you go, I don't know, actually.
Oh, I do. I can tell them exactly what it's like. I said, just close your eyes. You hear the pins. Imagine everybody speaking French. That's what it's like.
That's what it's like. Excellent. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on, Peter.
Thank you, my friend.
If you're getting off soon, I'll let you do your thing. And
you do a wonderful job with this too, and we're really thankful for what you do.
Hope you, if you get a chance, watch it back because we've got the green screen this year, and we're doing all your adverts, putting them out.
Oh, we definitely.
We're trying to make it more like a TV show, but on the cheap.
It's
all
great.
Cheap equipment. It's not, we're not a big production company or anything.
Right.
But it's fun. I like doing it. So, and it's nice to get some interaction with the ball company as well.
Yeah. We like I say,
if we're going to promote, we kind of need the support from the company as well. So
keep it up, mate. You're doing a great job.
Thank you for sponsoring the event, and thank you for sponsoring a lot of events around the world. You do put a fair bit of money back into it.
Yes, we do. We want to keep everything going well. We think it's a great game. I think it's the best game in the world.
Well, I believe that. And I've not played since I was 25-year-old, but I'm still around at 46, doing bowling, and still interested in it.
See, you're in the selfless part.
Yeah. You can't let go though. It's something that you drop in and you can't drop out of. A bit like you said earlier with Storm, people don't leave. People don't necessarily leave bowling unless they just can't really do it anymore.
It's kind of your duty, I mean, somebody helped you. Now it's that time to give back. It's that time to, and that's how I feel it is. It's and I get a thrill of, the progression is, I succeeded at something, and then I taught somebody else how to do it. Now you teach somebody else how to teach them how to do it. And this just kind of cascades. Now it's on a world scale. Now I'm teaching pro shops how in different areas, and you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You're leading somebody on. That's
educating in some way.
Right, and somebody's going to follow behind you. That's how we do it.
Well, thanks again.
Hey, mate.
Hope to see you again.
Thank you for the time.
And have a safe journey.
I'll do.
Thanks for coming on, Mortal Point.
But you know, I'm not flying the plane, so. You know.
Oh, that's all right then.
Cheers,
Thanks,
mate.
Peter.
All right.
See you later. Cheers. Right, sorry about that, folks. So we haven't been talking much about the bowling. We on game 6 then? No, game 5. We've got Rob Thirlby on the featured pair now, front 5. Pete Stevenson with a strike 9 spare 4-bagger. Devrim Grooven, 92 in the 4th. Kel Thord Shruggshagen, 46 in the 4th with a strike working. And hopefully I'm going to get down onto the lanes in the next 5 minutes, find out who's doing what. And apologies for the not mentioning the chat too much. Got 1 or 2 of the questions into Mr. Somoff. I don't know about you guys though. I thought that were really technical from his point of view. It's hard to understand just what they do at Storm really, and how they do it. But I think we got a little bit of an insight from it there. And how I thought the process for making a ball would have been kind of longer than 3 to 6 months. That's quite a quick turnaround, really, isn't it? But as Peter said, they do sit on some ideas that are not quite ready in the time frame for the market, and then they return to it at some point. Coach Cat, I appreciate that information about how to get signed for a partnership. That was interesting for me, actually, because I always thought it was kind of selling the balls, but it basically said it's like, well, yeah, we'll give you some free balls, but what can you do for us? And I think if you can answer that question, then you've got a fighting chance. And the other point he was quite right about is if you're any good and you get to that level, we'll find you. But if you do ask for something, then you're probably not quite ready for it. So Rob Thirlby now, front 7. Make that front 8. Okay, the only trouble with getting people in for interviews is you start talking, chatting away for them for a bit, and then you kind of neglect what's going on the lanes. But at the same time, yeah, it's interesting speaking to some of these people. Just finding out the different aspects of the sport and the companies. Pete Stevenson in the pocket for another one. So I'm going to take a short bathroom break. I'll be back in a few minutes' time. So just keep watching the action and we'll come to the end of this 5th game, I believe it is. And hopefully in the next 2 or 3 frames we might find out if we're going to get a 300 from Robert Thirlby. Right, we're back. Welcome to the 29th Irish Open. And Rob Thirlby's just left at 7-pin. So the 300 ends. 279 pair song. Pete Stevenson going well there. 280 pace. Have we any idea who's doing well in this block? Have we any idea who's leading it? Looks like I'm gonna have to go run down and find out then, because we'll have to get the studio ready at the end of the next game. One more block after this, one more squad, and then we'll be into the Desperado. So the next squad is at 4 o'clock. And then the always exciting Desperado. I think that'll be quite a lot of players that will be playing that, because I think they've got a waiting list for the next squad of about 20 odd players wanting to get back on. So we're here with Pete Stevenson from the Midlands in England. Looking for the first one in the 10th. He's on a 280 pace. Whoops, we're a bit slow with the flick over then, but gets the first one. We'll be a bit quicker this time. Keep comments and chat coming in. Sorry I've not been interacting with you as much in this squad. A bit more difficult when you start getting interviews in, and you lose your way a little bit because you get talking and talking and talking and forget about the action. Why have we got the camera gone off? It looks like the front camera's just resetting itself. We'll stick on the main cam. So Rob Thirlby, first one in the 10th. Boom! It's going to be a 279 for Rob Thirlby if he taps out. Oh, and almost another one for... And it's going to be a 269 for Pete Stevenson. So two cool guests today. Nick Kepi from Balltech UK, followed by Peter Somoff from Storm. So Thirlby up again. Thilbs. Hits number 2. And 268 for Pete Stevenson. The Motive fanboy. Need to have a word with Motive about Pete Stevenson. They need to start watching him. He's a potential staffer in the future. Kel Thordschagen on 170 if he taps out. Oh, nearly a 710, nearly a swishing 710. So 278 for Robert Thirlby. Coach Carter, yeah, seems like these two will have the highest scores on that featured pair. Yeah, Rob Thirlby never really lets us down when he's on the TV pair. He usually puts in a good game. I've had 300s out of Rob before on live stream. So it looks like we're going to go off for another break in a moment. And we'll be back for the final game. And I'll have a run up and down the lanes and we'll get a rough idea of who's going to take this squad. I'm presuming we're going to see a 1400 up there somewhere, maybe even a 15. Elliot Crosby with a 224 just to the left of us on lanes 7 and 8.
How's he doing?
I was just talking to Cherise Denham there. She says Paul's probably not going to beat his last score. He was in the top 10 anyway, but I think he's well, no, he's 8th. He wants to stay in that top 8 for the buys. So we're going to take a short break now. We'll be back very shortly. Don't go away.
Hey Storm Nation, I'm Steve Plemkin, and we're here with Del Ballard, your Pro Tour manager, and we're excited to demonstrate the new Code Black for you today. Now, Del, you have a little bit of experience. I know you saw this ball go down the lanes in Japan, and also some of our international staff players when they came over and bowled the World Series of Bowling were using the Code Black. What have you been seeing out of the ball?
Well, Steve, the very first thing I noticed out of it is how it just kept on coming. A lot of time around the corner, a lot of times with guys that have high rev rates, the asymmetrical balls will kind of just quit. They'll slow down, get to the preferred spin axis, and just kind of slow down. Code Black just kept coming, so you never lost that entry angle going into the pins.
And that's for the high rev players, like you were saying. At the pro level, we definitely see that.
Yes. And for the lower guys who threw the ball a little straighter, you know what? Just barely cracked the shell a little bit, make it start a little sooner, and just kept on coming. It allowed them to play about 3 to 4 or 5 boards deeper than they normally would, and the ball would keep coming through the pins.
A lot of hook on the back end. Let's go ahead and turn these lanes on. Let's throw some shots and show you what we're talking about. I think you could see going down the lane, I mean, there was a strong motion. We had 2 different balls, 2 different layouts. Both of them were the 5x5 layout, one with a pin above and one with the pin below. So that's the different pin buffers.
Out of the ball itself, the 5x5 layout is very versatile layout. You might go like a 4.5x5 if you're a little less revs, a little lower rev rate, but always keep that mass around 4.5 to 5 inches, and it really gets down the lane and wants to kick on the back, either pin up or pin down.
And I think when we're looking at, if somebody's kind of going through in their mind trying to decide, do they want to add the Code Black to their arsenal, I think the decision really is looking at, do they need a ball that's going to give them a little bit more hook down lane?
Yeah, a lot of times when you're dealing with solid covers or stronger asymmetrics and they get the mass a little closer to the axis, they have a problem with it quitting on the back. You can drill this ball up a little bit, just a little farther from the axis, and my gosh, it comes around the corner.
And that's one of the things I know when you're out there on tour working with the best players in the world, when you're looking at some of these layouts and trying to find out, exactly what kind of a motion you're going to get, you're trying to control the break point, trying to control entry angle, trying to control motion down lane. And that layout can be key in terms of them getting the look that they need in order to strike as much as they want to, right?
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes, a lot of times, too much back end's not good. But if you can control it when it hooks and when it starts by using a little bit of surface, it'll definitely give you the motion.
All right, Del. Well, hey, thanks a lot for being here. Appreciate it, Storm Nation. The Code Black, it's available November 22nd. Make sure you swing by and visit your Storm VIP Pro Shop and reserve yours today.
Welcome back. And we're into the last game. Thank you, sir. Just got to get a photograph of Amandine from the previous squad. Thanks, mate. Thank you. So if you just joined us, you're watching the 29th Irish Open live from the 18-lane Leisureplex Bowling Centre in Stillorgan, Dublin, Ireland. My name's Dom Gall from TalkTemping.net. In partnership this week with Dutch Bowling TV and Mr. Simon Sheppers, with some awesome support from Michael Rowe. He's brought us some really cool lights and tripods and all sorts of little tricks. So your featured pair now, Jenny Turnbull, Mia Bewley, Leila Eriksson and 2014 champion Jamie Bottomley. And I'm going to head on down the lanes now and find out who it's looking like for the squad win. And we'll get them up at the end in the studio. So bear with me for a few minutes. always stealing electricity, you. Do what you need to do, Timmy. Try. So yeah, looks like we've got Pete Stevenson on about 250 over with a game to go, and Gavin Greaves with 230 over. Rob Thirlby's about 180 over. So at the moment, it looks like it's going to be either Gavin or Pete Stevenson. So we'll keep an eye on them too. We'll get them up in the studio at the end. Pete's just struck again. And as I said earlier, we've got the final squad of qualifying coming in an hour and a half's time. 4 p.m. And after that, we've got the Desperado. So featured pair, Jenny Turnbull on 119 in the 5th with a strike in the 6th. Jamie Bottomley on 85 in the 5th with a strike working. Just come through the face there. Mia Bewley on 86 in the 5th with a strike. Well, thanks again for watching this block. Hope you enjoyed the interviews we had with Nick Kepi and Peter Somoff. We'll get some more guest commentary in the next squad. We'll see who is available. We'll get Adam Michaels back on. I need to find somebody that's good at commentary so I don't have to do it as much. I'd rather do the technical stuff. There's only so much Yorkshire accent you can take, and I'm hearing it all the time. Jenny Wegner was about 120, 130 over, I believe. She's on a 280 pace in this final game. Quite busy today, quite a lot of people watching. You all gone quiet on the chat? You all still awake? You still watching? Oops, frozen again. Keep his eye on Pete Stevenson and Gavin Greaves as they battle it out for the squad win. Actually, 100 it could be Gavin Greaves if he has a good last game, because Pete doesn't look like he's having a massive game last game. Mia Bewley looking to pick up a baby split, misses. One of the up-and-coming female players in the UK. And a good strike there from Jamie Bottomley from Poole, Dorset. Paul Moore picking up a single pin over there to the left. So my next job is I need to find an extension, and we'll take this camera down the lane a little bit further so we don't cut off the heads so much for the finals. We're here with Mia Bewley. Jenny Turnbull on 176 in the 8th with a spare. 142 for Mia Bewley. 111 for Jamie Bottomley, but he's got a double working now, and 119 for Lila Eriksson. Oop, big split there for, or wash out for Jamie. One another strike for Jenny Wegner. She battles through this block, trying to put a score in to get her into the qualifying positions. She has not got too long. She's got this squad, and if she can get on the next squad, the next one, but with a massive waiting list, I don't know where she is on that waiting list. Aoife Hall going well, 197 in the 8th, with a strike in the 9th. Rob Thirlby striking for fun again. Thirlby might catch up Pete Stevenson and Gavin Greaves. So I'm going to take a run back down to 13, 14, 15 and 16 and find out which one of those boys is going to take the squad win. And we'll get the studio set up, ready for it. just about. So we're just going to get Pete Stevenson in the virtual studio.
This program is brought to you by Storm Products, the Bowlers Company.
Right, move over, you. Cheers, bud. So Pete Stevenson, congratulations. Games of 278, 197, 233, 268, 268, 213, 14, 57.
Yeah.
Happy?
Yeah, definitely. A bit up and down.
I don't know, it's not too bad, apart from the 197, I guess. You were steady all the way through, really.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't change ball at all.
No, that was my next question. Thank you.
Yeah.
Save me asking.
Yeah, no, same ball, Revolt Havoc the whole time. Yeah, just.
You were both doing it, you and Gavin Greaves as
me
well?
and Gav, yeah.
Yeah, and
yeah,
top two at there.
we bowl all the time together, so a lot of the time we give reads off each other.
Right.
And I've managed to get him to start throwing some motive stuff. So.
Yeah, but he doesn't bowl a ball anything like you.
No, it's weird, but we still manage to help each other throw the same stuff.
You've had a good week so far. You have 262 average up at Alsa.
At Alsa, yeah.
Yeah, 300.
Yeah, that was just nuts.
They're easy, aren't they?
Yeah, unbelievably. It's just like throw it right and carry, basically.
Yeah, I think Chris Sloan, either last year or the year before, came in. He'd had back-to-back 300s.
Yeah, he had 13-11. He said I beat him by 1. So.
So yeah, it could be a good week if you win a bit of cash there and then win this.
Yeah, that's the plan. So first time over, so can't complain really.
You enjoyed it so far?
Yeah, definitely. Only the bowling so far. None of the
bowling. You've not done none of the drinking yet?
No, Sunday night.
Good boy. Save it
Sunday night.
Yeah.
Sunday night.
I like the shirt actually. Nice motive, bright shirt there.
Yeah, I've not had it too long.
We need to get you that staff deal, don't we?
Yeah, it would be nice.
We'll win this. It'll make it easy. I can send an email next week going, this kid's pretty good and he's wearing your stuff. And
yeah, I'll try. Bear that in mind.
You 6 balls anyway.
Yeah.
You've had a good year actually, haven't you? All said and done. Last year
yeah,
and
last
the beginning
year.
of this year.
Yeah, last year was awesome. Yeah, I had a fair few wins in England, definitely. Obviously, World Cup qualifier, going to the World Cup.
Top 15 in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, 13th. 13th, yeah. Couple of big dash the last couple of days to make it respectable.
Well, we were both there, weren't we?
Yeah.
It was a tough tournament.
It was.
You were way out of it at one point, but you did battle back well to get where you did get.
Yeah, I like the clutch moments. So yeah, that was the plan really. Just maybe sneak a bye as well. So and then the plan is just to get to match play. And who knows after that? Two games is it? I believe, or
3, I think, isn't it?
Is it?
I don't know actually. I need to check. Yeah, you're asking the wrong person. I'm supposed to know. But I'm not sure. Well, either way, you'll do it.
Yeah, that's the plan.
That's the
well,
plan.
I've got a good look. I had plus 170 first block, and then obviously now, so it's just down to me really. I just got to focus a bit more because I'm just a bit too relaxed when I'm bowling at the moment. But
too laid back, you're falling asleep.
Yeah.
What you got planned for this year then, tournament-wise?
I'm hoping to do a lot more Europeans this year. Well, definitely a few more. And just, I've changed what I'm bowling now. I'm stopping leagues and just practicing and being more specific with what I play and dedicating more time to practice and trying to take it to another level now. So
now's the time to maybe see if you can do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, maybe a couple of transition years and then maybe even full time.
Yeah, no, that's obviously the dream. So I'm making progress, I think. So
about 2.5, maybe 3 years before next World
Series.
Series.
Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely be over there at some point.
How old are you now?
23.
Plenty of time.
Yeah.
You got it all ahead of you, really. You got a good six years of.
Hopefully more.
Well, I don't know, really. I mean, you can get up to about 35, I think, and still be top of your game, can't you? So you could get another 10 years at least.
Yeah, and then there's the odd player that goes a bit more.
You can go a bit further than that, or you start to get to 50 and you're still competitive, but a lot better than the other seniors.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's forget about seniors, though.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that yet.
Got a long way to go yet. But congratulations on what you've done so far.
Cheers.
It's just another great player in the final now. It's going to make for a really good final, whatever happens.
Yeah, well, it's definitely going to be big scoring, so it's just it'd be interesting who's on what pairs, and because some people like certain pairs, some people don't, so you could end up playing someone that doesn't like a pair and having a nice game, or playing someone that loves a pair that you don't like.
Yeah. So. Is there any particular pairs that you've found tricky?
I'm not so keen at the right anywhere past 12.
Anywhere past 12.
Yeah.
Half the centre then, nearly.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah. Another 6 lanes that you're not keen on.
Yeah, but I think I'll get there. I'm picking up stuff each time I play on them, so
Like
it's all
say,
building
first
knowledge.
trip over here, so it's all, it's all
Yeah.
new to you, innit? Really?
Yeah, a lot of people keep telling me before they know all the pairs, and I'm like, well, I'm just learning it now, so got a bit of catching up to do on pair knowledge here, but
Definitely.
it's going okay.
Well, congratulations in that block, fella, and
Thanks.
we'll see you in the finals.
Yeah,
Well
definitely.
Done. Thank
Thanks.
you.
Cheers.
So that just about concludes the stream now. Needs to get a quick photograph. We're going to go to some sponsor adverts, and we'll see you soon.
Hey Storm Nation, I'm Steve Plemkin, and we're here with Del Ballard, you're a Pro Tour manager, and we're excited to demonstrate the new Code Black for you today. Now Del, you have a little bit of experience. I know you saw this ball go down the lanes in Japan, and also some of our international staff players when they came over and bowled the World Series of Bowling were using the Code Black. What have you been seeing out of the ball?
Well, Steve, the very first thing I noticed out of it is how it just kept on coming. A lot of time around the corner, a lot of times with guys that have high rev rates, the asymmetrical balls will kind of just quit. They'll slow down, get to the preferred spin axis, and just kind of slow down. Code Black just kept coming, so you never lost that entry angle going into the pins.
And that's for the high rev players, like you were saying, at the pro level, we definitely see that.
Yes, and for the lower guys who threw the ball a little straighter, you know what, just barely cracked the shell a little bit, make it start a little sooner, and just kept on coming. It allowed them to play about 3 to 4 or 5 boards deeper than they normally would, and the ball would keep coming through the pins.
A lot of hook on the back end. Let's go ahead and turn these lanes on. Let's throw some shots and show you what we're talking about. I think you could see going down the lane, I mean, there was a strong motion. We had 2 different balls, 2 different layouts. Both of them were the 5x5 layout, one with a pin above and one with the pin below. So that's the different pin buffers.
Out of the ball itself, the 5x5 layout is very versatile layout. You might go like a 4.5x5 if you're a little less revs, a little lower rev rate, but always keep that mass around 4.5 to 5 inches, and it really gets down the lane and wants to kick on the back, either pin up or pin down.
And I think when we're looking at, if somebody's kind of going through in their mind trying to decide, do they want to add the Code Black to their arsenal, I think the decision really is looking at, do they need a ball that's going to give them a little bit more hook down lane?
Yeah, a lot of times when you're dealing with solid covers or stronger asymmetrics and they get the mass a little closer to the axis, they have a problem with it quitting on the back. You can drill this ball up a little bit, just a little farther from the axis, and my God, shit comes around the corner.
And that's one of the things I know when you're out there on tour working with the best players in the world, when you're looking at some of these layouts and trying to find out, exactly what kind of a motion you're going to get, you're trying to control the break point, trying to control entry angle, trying to control motion down lane. And that layout can be key in terms of them getting the look that they need in order to strike as much as they want to, right?
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes, a lot of times, too much back end's not good. But if you can control it when it hooks and when it starts by using a little bit of surface, it'll definitely give you the motion.
All right, Del. Well, hey, thanks a lot for being here. Appreciate it, Storm Nation. The Code Black, it's available November 22nd. Make sure you swing by and visit your Storm VIP Pro Shop and reserve yours today.